All right, class. First off, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. Now, just in case you were looking for last week's video, there isn't one. Okay, because here's the thing, that lesson, part of the questions I asked and part of the questions you responded to a video. The problem is I can't post the video because I don't own the rights to the video. So I can't put it on YouTube because then they won't show it at all. There's no point. So again, if you need to do week 12 work, be sure you see me at the school. Email me something. Let me know that, hey, Mr. Martinez, I can't go to the school. Um, I need to do this assignment. What do I need to do? And I got another different assignment. It's kind of hard for me to put it on the Google Classroom. I've tried several ways, and the link does not work. So let me know, and I'll get you an alternate assignment. Okay. But let's talk about this week's assignment, which is building credit. We're going to be looking at that. What is credit? Credit? How do you build it? Things like that. Again, this is one of those very important lessons in life. Okay, because again, credit is everything. And if you get some bad advice or you don't follow some simple rules, you could be hurting yourself in the future, and nobody really wants that for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So here is your warm-up picture. The first question asks you, basically what's going on, what's happening in this picture. All right, so look at the guy with the card, he has a tie. So where would they be at more than likely? Okay, so look at the picture, more likely where are these two guys at? And the bottom little quotation should help you. It says, your bank has instructed me to cut your card in half and say something bad about your mama. All right, so there you go. The second question asks you, what or why would this guy's card be declined? What are some reasons, possible reasons why, the bank is telling this guy, hey, cut the guy's card in half? So obviously you can't use it. So what probably happened? What do you think? Okay, so pause the video, write down your responses, but we're going to be moving on in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so what is credit? Okay, really, if you boil it down, credit is basically a contract agreement between you, the borrower, who you basically get money and you agree to repay the person who lend you the money, the lenders. You agree to pay them back with a little bit of interest. Okay, so a little bit more than what you borrowed. Okay, it's a promise. Okay, it's a promise and a trust between you, the borrower, and the lenders. Okay, that's what it really boils down to. Okay, now, thing is, you'll hear this line quite a bit. A line of credit, or your credit max, things like that. That's how much money you're basically allowed to borrow. Okay, now starting off, usually it's about 500, 600 bucks. Okay, but as time goes on and you start building credit, your number will jump up from 500 to 1,000, and from 1,000 to 1,500, and who knows, it could go up to like $5,000. You know, so that's what it means. And how do you do that? A lot of times, pay back what you borrowed, on time. You know. Now here's the thing. I had to put this down because I had a conversation with a student some years ago, and I was just like, "Ay, mijo," it made my head hurt. Um, this student told me, Mr. Martinez, why is my credit so bad? He goes, I pay off my stuff all the time. He goes, I pay for it right away. How come my credit is horrible? I'm like, oh, I don't get this. Usually you pay on time, your credits should be good. I was like, you paid it, when it's supposed to be due? He goes, I pay it right away. It don't make sense. I'm like, well, what kind of credit card do you use? And he goes, no, I use my debit card. He goes, yeah, when I go to the grocery store, I use my debit card. When I go to this car place, I use my debit card. And it's like, a debit card is not the same as a credit card. The only way you can use your debit card to actually build credit is if you pay your bills. Your utility bills, your electric, your gas, your cable bill, phone bill, things like that. If you use your debit card, then yeah. But buying groceries, buying, electronics from some store with your debit card, that's not building credit at all. You're basically saying just take money from this account. That's it, you know. So using your debit card, trying to use that as a credit card, it doesn't work that way, okay? So, like I said, debit card takes money out directly. Credit card is like I'm borrowing the money and I agree to pay back pay the bill, um, however much it may be. Okay. Now, again, using a credit card only builds credit if you actually pay back the money and on time. So just using your credit card, just be like, look, I'm building credit. No, until you actually pay back the money, then yeah. And if you pay back the money, it should be on time because if you pay it back like 3 months past due, no, your credit is going to go back up a little bit because you paid, but it's going to take a bigger hit after those 3 months of not paying it back. So you got to pay it on time, and you got to, like I said, pay it back. All right, so let me move this little video thing right here. Okay, because here's the thing. What does having a good credit score get you? I've heard some students ask me this recently. Number one thing, lower interest rates on credit cards and loans. So the percentage you have to pay back is a lot smaller. So like let's say you borrow $1,000, right? You borrow $1,000. If your credit score is bad, your interest rate might be like 20%. Okay. So you would have to pay like $1,200, if you had a 20% interest rate. That's after 1 month. So you borrowed 1,000, now you have to pay back $1,200. But let's say your interest rate was 5%. That means you would have to pay back in a month $1,050. So you just saved yourself $150 right there. See, and that's for having a good credit. You have to pay back less. Okay, you have a better chance of getting credit cards and loan approvals. Okay, so anytime you need money, hey, sure, hey, this person pays on time. This person has a good credit. You know, they like that. Companies like that because again, they know they're going to get their money back. They're going to get it on time. You know, and that's what they want. They don't want to lend money and also it's like, oh, this person does not pay it back for nothing. It takes them 6 months to pay back one payment. That's bad. Okay. This is a key one, especially if you're trying to get a car and some of that. You have more negotiating power. If you're trying to get a car and they tell you, oh, here's your interest rate at, let's say, 18.9%, you can be like, no, 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 no. My credit is like a 750. So I should not be this high. I should be down like at 5%, 5.5%, maybe. Oh, no, 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 no. We can't do that. No, no, it's that's not how our thing is. Well, guess what? No, I'm leaving. You know, so you can negotiate like that. Same thing with like buying a house and things like that. You have that power, especially if your credit is really in the excellent range. Good, yeah, but up above that, er, you can fight, but you probably won't get that much lower as opposed to excellent or good credit. Um, Again, you have a higher limit. You can borrow instead of $1,000. Hey, this person's been paying. This person, um, they pay on time. They get their, we get our money back. Let's try at $1,500. See how well they do. Okay, they do good. Let's push it to $2,500. See. Easier approval for rental houses. I've told you guys this, how um, when I moved into this apartment, um, they looked at my credit score and were like, yeah, okay, good. When I got my appliances, my ex tried to get some appliances. They told her no. You know, well, they didn't say no, but the interest rate and all that stuff was huge. So then I said, just look at mine. Let's do me alone. And then mine was, they were like, oh yeah, here, and we'll sign you up for a credit card and this and that. We'll knock down even more. So yeah, okay. Um, Same thing with like getting a cell phone contract, no security deposit. Same thing with utilities. Sometimes if your credit's really, really good, you have to put down the security deposit. Okay. So here's the thing. A lot of people will say, well, how is my credit score affected? How come it keeps going up or down, and this and that? These five things are the key factors. Number one, the highest percentage is payment history. Do you pay your stuff on time consistently? Not just once in a while, or you had a 3 weeks or 3 months where you paid things off on time. Woo, we'll throw a parade. No, that's not how it works. We're talking years of paying your stuff on time. Your credit score is going to go really, really good. Okay. The amounts owed. Okay. Now here's the thing. This is what a lot of people who know, oh, if I pay my stuff on time, my credit's going to go good. But when they get a house, get a new car, and they look at their credit score, and all of a sudden it goes back to from 750 to 700, 690, 680, and they're like freaking out, like, what happened? Why did my credit score go back that much? It's because now you owe, $18,000. It's because you owe that much money. Now your credit score went back up, or back down, I should say. Before you only owed $1,000, $1,500. Now it's gone all the way to the, you know, tens of thousands, $20,000. So, yeah. Okay. The length of your credit history. Now, a student asked me earlier today, should I get a credit card now at the age of 18? My response to that is this: if you are responsible. If you are responsible to the point where you can be like, hey, I got a job, I'm going to save this much money, things like that. Oh, I need to pay this off, pay this person off, pay this off. If you're good like that, then I would say yes, go for it. You can handle a credit card. But if you're one of those people, as soon as you get, your job, you get paid, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go off, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Oh, I'll pay back so and so later. When the next time I get paid. No, because you're already setting yourself up for failure. You're already telling yourself, well, like this person I'll pay them back later. This credit card, you're not gonna look at them and go, oh, I'll pay that back right now. No, because that $400, $500 bill that you have to pay, you'd be like, oh, I'll wait till later. I can use that money for something else right now. You're only looking at the here and now. You're not thinking about the future. So those of you guys who are like that, I would suggest you do not get a credit card yet. Okay, not yet. Maybe wait another year or two when you're financially wise in how to spend your money. Okay, but do not wait until you're like 28. Because then yeah, you're gonna be hurting. Okay, so credit length is a thing. Also, new credit. So every time you get a new credit card, your credit score actually goes back. So there is no need to have like 18 credit cards. There is no reason for that. I have one for Victoria's Secrets. I have one for Bed Bath and Beyond. I have one for JCPenney, Mervyn's, Best Buy, Target, all that stuff. You don't need all those cards. Okay. A student asked me today, what was the max? I would say the maximum, total maximum, 5. That's it. 5. Max. No, that's to me, it still makes me cringe when I say it, 5. Because really, I feel more comfortable saying 3. Okay? I would say 3 is really good. 2, sure. Yeah, 2 is fine. 2 is excellent. But you need definitely 1, you know. But 3, yeah, I feel better saying that's a max. The ultimate max, 5. Okay? Don't go any higher than that. So now we come to your 2 questions. The first one says, which part do you believe really hurts people the most when it comes to their credit score? Is it their payment history, the amount of money they borrow, their credit history, the length of it, how long they've had it, or like simply getting new credit cards? Which one do you think really, really hurts them? The second question says, 10 years from now, where do you truly believe your credit will be? Not what you hope it will be. Where do you think it will be? Where do you believe? Again, I know we all hope to get to the 800s, and things like that, but I want to know what you personally believe. Because again, nobody knows you more than you know. So knowing how you are, what you're planning for your future, things like that, things you're susceptible to, you know, um, where do you think your credit score will be in 10 years from now? So when you're like 27, 28 years old. Okay. So pause the video, uh, put down your response, but we're moving on in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so here's another thing too. Again, this is a good way to just some tips to help you when you're starting off trying to build credit. Okay, first off, buy small things with your credit card. Okay, buy some groceries, buy some little tiny thing. Your credit, like I said, your credit limit should be somewhere around $500, $600. Do not go all $500 on it. Okay, or don't max it. Okay, that's one of the last things I put on here. Don't go for the high number. Go with small first. Pay that off. Okay, pay that off right away. Okay, which goes into my next thing. Only buy something if you have at least half the money to pay it back at that time. So let's say you say, I'm gonna buy some Jordan shoes. $200 pair of Jordan shoes. I would say wait till you have like $100, $120, and then pay it with the card, because the halfway mark, assuming you get your bill, you can use that 120, whatever you have right there at that point, and pay that off, and then you only have, an extra like $80 you need to pay off, and I would figure by then you could get another $80 to finish paying it off before the month ends, you know. So yeah, this is again, when you're starting off, you should really make sure you have money first to pay it back. Don't go in saying, "Oh, I'm going to get paid this time." Well, hey, stuff can happen. Life can happen, you know. So, something happens in your car, things like that, just be cautious, okay? Never, ever, look at me right here. Never, ever pay the minimum unless you absolutely have to. Okay. Now, again, I've had some former students and some friends who, you know, their significant other, or person they were like going around with, they joined bank accounts, or they let their significant other know the account number to withdraw money, and they took everything out, you know. And they have bills to pay. So they paid those off, and they got credit cards, so they paid the minimum balance. That I would say is an okay time to pay the minimum. Okay, because they basically had no money. Okay. only under dire circumstances should you pay the minimum. Always pay more. Whatever the minimum says, pay double. You know, always pay more. Don't make it a habit of paying just the minimum, because the thing is, if you keep doing that, you're like, oh, it's just a minimum, it's just a minimum. Next week, I'm going to show you actually how much you're actually paying more if you pay just the minimum. And it's going to just blow your mind, be like, wow, really? That much time to pay off this $5,000 debt, and that's how much I actually really paid? It's like, yeah, you know, yeah. The next one, don't max out your card. Whatever your limit is. If it's $1,000, don't max it out. Okay? No, don't do that. Okay? Stay below it. Okay? Think of it like in the sand. You're digging in the sand, it's up to your chest. Right? You haven't paid that stuff off yet. Why keep using it? Why dig more? Why dig yourself deeper into a hole? So yeah, don't max it out. Now, this other tips basically goes for whether you're starting off or you're a veteran. Number one thing, pay your bills on time. I mean, you've heard me say it several times already. I'm trying to beat that into your brain. Pay your bills on time. If you can pay it a week early, pay it a week early. Get it out of the way. Okay? Don't wait till the last minute. Because, like I've said before, you don't know what might happen in life. You know, you don't know if something's going to happen to your mama, things like that. Some tragedy might happen, some incident might happen, electricity goes off in your neighborhood and everywhere else for like a week. You don't know you don't know so get it done. Okay, pay it off. If you can early, then pay it off early. Okay, because again, like I said, it's happened where, again, things have happened to people's parents, their family members, stuff like that. And the last thing you're not gonna be like, oh man, this thing happened to my mom. Oh my gosh. Oh, you know what? I need to make my payment. No, that's farthest from your mind. You know, that's the last thing on your mind. You're focused on your family, things like that, over this what happened to them. You're not gonna remember, oh, I need to make this payment. You're not. Okay. And for you to say, oh, that's never gonna happen to me, again, you don't know. And usually when people say that kind of stuff, oh, that's never going to happen to me. Oh, I'm not going to do that. That won't happen to me. It usually happens to them. Karma just likes to go, really, right to the face. Okay, so don't be one of those people. The other one, make frequent payments. Okay, you can pay $50 now, and then you know the last $50, last $80, whatever later, before the month ends, do it. Make those payments. Okay, get it over with. Okay, um, no one says you have to pay the payment if you have a month to pay it off, like $100. No one says you have to pay all the 100 at the end of the month. You can do $60 halfway through the month, and then the other 40, the last, you know, you can do that. It's fine. Or 25 one week, 25 another, 25 another, 25 another. Bam. There you go. All $100. So you can make frequent payments. Dispute credit errors. When you're checking your credit score, make sure that everything's on the up and up. Because remember, we live in a digital age. People can steal your credit, can get credit cards in their names, start buying things, stuff like that. And if you look and going, wait, I never bought that. I don't know what that is. Call your credit place. Tell them, hey, that wasn't me. I did not buy that. This thing is messing up my credit, and that wasn't me. Because when you fight those and they find out that, hey, that wasn't you, that was somebody else, things like that, that can bring back your credit score back up because they realize that is not your fault. Okay. The last one is use a secure credit card. Use one of these big name places. you know, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, things like that. Um, if you want to use a card from like Target, Walmart, Best Buy, fine, because those are big name places. But if it's some Joe Schmo's muffler shop and he says, "Oh yeah, I can give you a credit, a credit line with my or credit card here," no, I would lay off those. Yeah, because you don't know who they're banking with, who what their little thing says, so they could probably get you on that. So be careful where you get your credit cards from. Okay. All right. So now growing up, I we talked about the three C's of credit borrowing, which is capacity, collateral, and character. But I found this picture last week, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." Okay, so I decided to add it in. Let me move this over here a little bit. So again, it has capacity, capital, collateral, character, and conditions. Okay. Now, what does capacity means? It's your ability to pay back the loan. Okay. Do you have a job? Things like that. How are you getting income? How are you able to pay back this loan? Okay. Now, I had a student tell me, well, what if I pay a car with straight cash? You mean you're going to pay a $24,000 car straight cash? That doesn't sound suspicious at all. No. I'm sure even the IRS is going to want to know what's up, you know. And if you do, that's like a student said, like I'll do a side hustle. Um, Side hustles work to a certain extent, but the thing is, depending on what your side hustle is. For one thing, if it's legal or illegal, that's one thing. Two, is it a taxable income? Because if you are doing something that where you're supposed to be taxed for it, and you're not paying your taxes on it, oh yeah, Uncle Sam is gonna come for you and the IRS and all them. So make sure what you're doing is legit. Okay. Next one is capital. Uh, Indicates to borrow the serious level of seriousness. So you're basically saying, like, if you're gonna start a business, you want to borrow money. They tell you, okay, what's your store? Well, I want to build this store because we don't have anything around like that here. There's a big demand for it. Here's my business model. Here's my business plan. Here's my projections, things like that. That shows the bank and the borrowers or the lenders that you know what you're talking about and you come prepared to um, to start this business, that you're not just going to be throwing their money away, that you have a plan, you've thought about this, and you're ready to execute it. And they like that. They love that. Okay. A friend of mine who works in a bank overheard this, and this is God's honest truth. This guy comes to the bank, tells this lady, the one who gives out the loans, he says, I want to build a McDonald's. Now, here in the town I live in, we already have like four McDonald's. And the lady's like, "Oh, okay, okay. So what's your business plan?" And his exact words are this: "To make money, fool." Yeah, that's not a great business plan there. Okay, that's not a great business plan. That just showed that person's seriousness about the business, about actually starting one and this and that, is close to none. They have no plan. They have no seriousness about starting a business. Okay, so they're not going to lend them that money. The next thing is collateral, which is basically your assets, anything worth of value. Now, I'm not talking about some like baseball card your great granddaddy left you, things like that. We're talking like stock options. We're talking like your vehicle, your house, things like that. Do you own property? Do you own bonds? Things like that. Okay. The next one is character. It's basically your reputation as a reliable and trustworthy person when it comes to your credit. Do you pay on time? You know, how consistent are you on paying back your stuff on time? Um, are you really a trustworthy person? If we give you money, will we get our money back? Or are you just gonna sit back and just, oh, I'll pay it back as soon as I can. I'll pay it back as soon as I can. That type of thing. Okay. The next one, it's kind of iffy. It's the factors like interest rate, amount to principal, um, to the conditions, to uh, your loans and things like that, which really doesn't apply. But so a lot of students have asked me too in the past, what are some major credit companies? Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, they're the big ones. Now, I want to dispel this myth that I have heard from people, and that's, oh, the government controls your credit score. It's the government that controls that. These three companies, even, oh, Innovis, forgot about them, the fourth one, they are independent from the government. Okay, the government does not control your credit score. Okay, it's these corporations that do. These guys are making not billions, but trillions of dollars, annually. And the thing is, they're the ones who do the credit score. You know, they take into factor all kinds of things, and like I told you, they look at all that stuff and say, okay, what's your score? You know, if we're gonna be honest too, even countries get a credit score. If a country does not pay back some of their loans, they lose their credit score too. So it's not just you, it's even governments who owe money. Okay. All right. So here's your next question. It's supposed to be, it's just put like the four C's. Don't look at conditions. But of the four C's, capacity, collateral, character, capital, which one do you feel you need to work on? Which one do you think like, hey man, I need to focus on this. Okay, this part I think I'm pretty good with. This part I think I'll be good with. This one, I don't know. I should really focus on that when I have a chance. Okay. And what's your plan to fix it? Okay. So, like, I'll give you an example. For me, it's um, it's collateral. Okay. I have no stock. I don't own stock and stuff. I should. You know, I don't own a house. All I have is my car. It's under my name. It's paid for. Things like that. Um, but yeah, I really don't have collateral. So that's something I should be working on. What's my plan? Hey, maybe buy some stock in some stuff that I use. You know, whether it's electricity, whether it's you know Disneyland stuff, Funko, the Funko Pop figures. Hey, get some stock in some stuff. All right, so pause the video. If you have to go back to see what each one of those things meant, by all means, go back and use that to help you. Okay. Now we've come to the exit ticket. So remember, pick one of these two questions. The first one says, how confident are you that you will be able to maintain a good credit score in the future? So remember, like I told you guys, no one knows you more than you. So how confident are you that you will be able to maintain a good credit score? Okay. So really think about it and look at yourself. Know yourself first and basically be honest with yourself. How confident are you? If you're very confident, great. If not, why? You know, and hopefully that will help you to see, okay, this is what I need to work on, especially on myself. Now, like I said, if you are confident, explain why. Explain how responsible you are and things like that. The second question says, why do you think so many people have bad credit scores? Okay. Why do so many people have like a 600, 650, you know, or even lower than that? What do you think? So using what you've learned today about how your credit score can go down, not just up, but also down, use that to help you to maybe think of some stuff. Okay. So once you finish the exit ticket, you're done for this class. I know this took a little bit longer than it should have, but again, like I said, this stuff, guys, it's so important. And next week we are going to be looking at um, the interest rates. We're going to be looking at that. What is flexible, adjustable, or sorry, adjustable and fixed rates. We're going to be looking at if you don't pay back your loans at a certain percentage or you pay the minimum, how long it's going to take you, how much more you'll be paying. The math is what we're looking at, okay? So that's it. Hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you enjoyed the lesson. All right. I'll see you guys next week. You take care. You be safe, all right?